Hi. So, welcome to my foundations program. And instead of just going through an intro and saying this is what this is all about, I'm just going to dive right in because I think that's going to be the best way to understand what this is all about. So, first thing I want you to do is to grab a pen and a paper. Toilet paper and crayon is fine too. Just anything that you need to write on. And I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do that. And while we're waiting, yes, these are all my hats. I need to change the little pins. They're all different colors because I didn't have enough of the same colors, but I wanted to go ahead and get those up because my hats were all over the place in my closet and driving me crazy. So, what I want you to do now is I just want you to start writing a list of habits. So I'm going to start listing some out loud and then I'm going to give you some time. So consistency with exercise, drinking more water, eating breakfast, making time for self-care, um, more prayer time or Bible study time, more intentional time with each child. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave it to you guys. I'm going to give you all a little, let's see, I'm going to give you all about 2 minutes to sit there and write down any habit you could possibly think of. And it might be decrease things, increase things, decrease things. And as you can tell, it doesn't all have to be physical health. It could be mental health. It could be spiritual health because they're all so very important. Okay. So now you've got this long list of habits or intentions that you want to get started on. So now I want you to look at this list and then I want you to look at yourself or think about looking at yourself. And I want you to tell yourself that even if I didn't accomplish one thing on this list, I'm still worthy. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of acceptance. My self-worth, your self-worth is not tied to a bunch of habits. You are important. You matter. And so, if you've been following me or you're a previous or current client of mine, that I am proclaim Christianity. And you also may have heard me talk about how that can mean different things for different people, and it can bring up some anxiety. It can bring up some negative feelings, and I 100% understand that. So I want you to know that I'm not going to sit here and preach the gospel and try to get you converted, but I will mention Jesus and I will talk about prayer and things like that because that's important to me. And if it's not important to you, that's okay. I just want you to know that spiritual life, having some kind of belief system, has shown in research to be important for our mental health. Those that believe in a higher being have improved quality of life, improved self-worth, feelings of self-worth, improved stress response, um, increased happiness. So I don't have the studies with me, but they are there. And so I want you to know that that's why I talk about these things because that's part of my coaching is your spiritual health. And my spiritual health just happens to be tied to Jesus. So again, please don't feel like I'm trying to preach to you, but if you are interested, you can message me privately. But I just wanted to get that out in the air that while, yes, we're going to work on these habits and we're going to talk about how to create habits that are sustainable and that we can take and do one at a time and make them incorporated into our lives. Yes, that's absolutely important. However, what's more important is to know that you are valued and that you are worthy over all things. So let's just remember that as we're going through this. When we're getting frustrated, when we're feeling like this is not going the way we wanted to, that it's okay. Because in the end, it doesn't really matter. What matters is how is our quality of life? How are we feeling about ourselves? And also, another little side note is 100% I recommend counseling if you feel like that you're really struggling with your self-worth and your value. I'm not going to be able to help with that completely. I'm not going to be able to yeah, I'm going to be able to help, but I'm not going to be able to really go deep into that. So I recommend counseling to so many clients, and it's a normal part of my coaching. Okay. So again, what I put is consistency with exercising, drinking more water. And yes, I struggle with these things just like you. That's why I'm excited about this class. Eating breakfast, which I actually already do, but for some that don't, eating breakfast, making time for self-care. I need that. I need more prayer time or worship time or Bible study time. I need more intentional time with each child and my spouse, actually. Meal prep is another thing that I've started, but I need to get better at it. I usually just meal plan, and we'll talk about the differences and what might work best for you. I want to help more at my church, possibly help more at my kids' school. I want to increase my steps. I want to continue to decrease my sugar. I get on a good run of things, and then I want to eat all the things sugar. And then I want to continue to decrease gluten. In our family, we're working towards being gluten-free just because we're having some issues with some tummy stuff with some kids. So that's just a personal thing. I don't recommend that for everybody. But if that's something that you also are want to work on, you're not alone. So we have our basic, like these are all the things we want to accomplish, and there's probably more that we just forgot to list. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to kind of number these into one being this is one of the easier things that I can do, and you can have multiple ones if you want to. And then all the way up to however many you have, 10 or more or whatever. 10, the higher the number, the harder you feel like it's going to be to achieve. Either it's going to take a lot of steps just to get there, or it's a habit that you're holding on to really tight, like if it's coffee, as you saw. That would be a hard one to break. Sugar's a hard one to break for me. So those are higher numbers. And then so I want you to start with what you think might be the easiest one for you. So I'm gonna give you some time to work on that. Okay. So if you have multiple ones, that's okay. What I want you to look at is the either multiple ones or your first top three. Look at them and start to think about what steps it's going to take to get to that habit. So I'm going to pick meal prep. Meal prep is a harder one for me, so that's not one that I would typically pick, but it has a lot of steps, and that's why I put it at a higher number. But you may not have understood what work might go into the habit that you picked. So this is going to help you determine maybe is this habit going to be a low-hanging fruit and easier one, or is there more work to it than you realize? So meal prep is hard for me because to meal prep, one, you have to plan what you're going to meal prep, right? For me, it can't be repeating the same like chicken meal multiple times a week. It has to be something that's easily reheatable or can be eaten cold. And then I have to set aside time to grocery shop, to cook the actual meals, and I have to have the right container. So there's just a lot of steps finding recipes to meal prep. So that's why it's a seven. But if I look at, so I picked drinking water for number one. So for me, drinking water, what does that entail? Probably some kind of reminder system, some kind of visual cue, um, having, something that I have recommended to a client because she works at home some days and she works in the office some days. And she said, when I go to the office, I forget to take my water. And I said, well, why don't you just leave your water bottle at work? Do you have a way to refill it? And she said, yes. So leave your water bottle at work and take one of those, the sponges that you can put the soap in it. Take one of those with you and wash it out and then reuse it each day so that you're not forgetting your water at home. Having a water at your desk, and I've seen all these Instagram stories, so I know I'm not the only one, but water at your desk, water at bedside, water at the kitchen table, water at the counter. Like those visual cues will help you. Um, so that's probably one that I feel like I could easily obtain. Okay. So then what we're going to do is you're going to pick one, maybe two habits that you're going to work on. And then you're going to break it down into steps. So whatever one or two habits that you choose to work on, and this is going to be something we're going to be working on for a month. So you may want to choose two, just if you're an overachiever, but I can tell you choosing one is actually the better answer because you're going to become more consistent and more determined on that one habit and more focused than if you choose two habits. And so I would choose one, but you can choose two if you want. So I'm gonna choose for me drinking more water. I was doing good. Somehow I've fallen off track to where I am not drinking enough water. And you saw coffee tends to be the thing that makes it harder. So I need to put that in my notes. Like, what is something that's keeping me from being able to obtain this one habit? And that is other liquids. I'm just going to put other liquids because sometimes it's coffee, sometimes it's tea, sometimes it's a Coke Zero. I know I'm a coach and I'm a human being. Okay, so I'm gonna write all the things that I need to do, all the things that might be challenging, any thoughts that are going on in my head. What kind of plans do I need to make in order to be successful at this? And so I'm gonna create my list of that. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about what um, we have roles in our lives. We take on identities. And so my roles are I'm a coach. I am also a physical therapist at a hospital. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. And I'm a Christian. That would be something that I would put. I'm a I'm active, I'm physically active. So I want you to write down all the things that you identify with. I feel like I value my health. That's another one. And let's say you write some things down, but you're not quite convinced you are those things, but it's something you aspire to be. Write those down too. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to think through your roles, your identities, to figure out exactly where you fit into that. Okay. So now that we've got our identities and our roles written down, I want you to look at your habit or two habits that you've picked. How do they relate to those roles and identities? And maybe you're thinking, well, they don't. What does drinking water have to do with being a mom or being a daughter or a wife or a Christian or a coach? Well, think about it for a little bit. If in order for us to be good at something, we probably need to be in fairly good health so that we have the mental capacity and the physical capacity to do that thing. To be a good role model to our children. We want our children to eat well and drink water and take care of their health. That is tied into that as well. So when we look at our identity and then we look at our goals and our habits, if they don't align with each other, then they make it more challenging, and our mind just says, "Well, what's the point?" And it protects us. And uh, what I mean by that is that our minds are constantly picking the safe choice. They're picking the easy road. What is that? The red button? Was it Office Max or Office Depot, or maybe not even that? Staples, I think. It's like the easy button. Your brain is constantly defaulting to the easy button. And it's a survival mechanism that we were born with, we started our lives off with. And so we're constantly having to override that. We're constantly having to tell our minds that this isn't actually what we want. We want to accomplish these things. And one way to do that is to tie in our habits to our identity and really kind of to think of through that and really consider that. And then if you put some identities that you don't feel as though you actually are, but you're wanting to achieve those identities, such as I'm a person who eats healthy, or I'm a person who cares about my health, then I want you to consider that, and that this is a step towards achieving that identity, to achieving the identity of X, Y, and Z. Like in order to be that person, to honor that identity, this step will get us closer there. Is it way down here? Absolutely. But the more we can get under our belt, the more wins that we can get under our belt, the easier it will be, because we can look back on history and we can go, I did that. And that also ties into another thing. What have you accomplished in your life? And if you say nothing, I'm just going to flick this little screen right now, because I know that's not true. Because if you suffer from depression and you're still here today, you've accomplished that. That is a lot. And I know because I have struggled deeply with depression and have wanted to end things at one point in my life. But I am surviving and I'm here. And not only that, I'm thriving. And so if you have struggled with depression, then you have accomplished great things. If you are a mom, oh my gosh, you've accomplished and are accomplishing each day great things. There's a lot that you're not giving yourself credit for. If you're a business owner, oh my goodness, you are accomplishing great things. If you are a devoted spouse, you are accomplishing great things. If you are going to work every day to a job that you can't stand, but you know benefits your family, you are accomplishing great things. So, whatever you have done in your life, you have accomplished great things. And so I want you to pull from that. Like, I can accomplish great things because I have accomplished great things, right? Like, look at your past to foretell your future. You will accomplish these habits. Will you accomplish them all today? No, that's absurd. Like, we don't do that. That as human beings, we don't just course correct all of a sudden. It takes time. We've been establishing these other habits that we're not so happy about for years. Like we've been working on eating the chocolate and bonbons, or I don't know what, drinking all this coffee. We've been mastering that habit for years, right? My desk is shaking. That's how excited and passionate I am about all this. Is my desk is shaking. But so I know that you can accomplish these things, and I'm going to be here to help you. So we've wrote down our habits. We've picked one or two that we feel like we can really work towards. We've written out those steps. And now's the time to start tackling them. So that's the first video. And I'll come back and I'll write in some more details and I'll probably create another video. But I just wanted to kind of get you started. And then we're going to meet live at a time that I will again put on the calendar. You'll have that by now. And we will discuss what help do you need? What steps are you needing help with? How can I guide you to figure out that one or two habits that you want to work on this month? I am so excited you're here. I hope that you are feeling encouraged, and I look forward to many, many more meetings with you.